It's a real honor and delight to have Dr. Kristin Neff on the show today. Welcome, Kristin.
Oh, thanks, Dan. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, thanks for having me.
We got to talk about this
Uh-huh.
concept of anger.
Yeah,
So I'd
yeah,
love to talk a little bit about women and anger, our messaging around anger, and
yeah.
also how we can reclaim our anger in a way that is compassionate and actually an agent for change.
Yeah. So a lot of the book is about my struggles with anger. I'm not like an anger management expert. I'm not writing the book as someone who's like figured it out. I'm actually very honest in the book. This is something I struggle with. I am more yang than yin. I access my anger pretty easily, but sometimes it's not balanced enough. And, as a mindfulness teacher, I was always kind of like, okay, I need to use my mindfulness to work with my anger. And it was kind of more of a make space for my anger. I didn't judge my anger, but I didn't honor my anger either. And I realized that this part of me, this is my power source. This is what has allowed me largely to accomplish a lot of the things I've accomplished in my life. It's a good thing. That doesn't mean that you want to harm people with it. Absolutely not. But the energy itself is a positive, productive force of life. And I think women, usually they don't have a healthy relationship with anger because from the time we're little, we're told it's ugly, when you're angry. We're also told it's abnormal for girls to be angry. When boys and girls are upset, what the research shows is mothers interpret their boys' upsetness as anger, and that's okay. Boys are allowed to be angry, but girls it's interpreted as sadness. It's like invalidated. They aren't allowed to be angry. So it's not reflected back to us. So very early on, we start to think, okay, I'm not supposed to be angry. I'm ugly when I'm angry. People don't like it when I'm angry. So either repress it. A lot of people repress their anger, which is not healthy. And sometimes it comes out like a self-criticism, like internalized anger. It's actually not good not to be at all in touch with their anger. Or what happens is people don't identify as being angry and they bottle it up. And then when they really get angry, they just explode, right? It's just like so extreme. And then they feel guilty and shame. Instead of what we really need to do, and again, not that it's easy to do, I'm not pretending it's easy, but what we need to aim for is harnessing our anger for good, right? So anger can be constructive. It gives you focus. It allows you to be brave. It suppresses the fear response. It energizes you. If it's focused on alleviating suffering, like if you look at the Black Lives Matter movement started by a woman or the Me Too movement, we should be angry. These behaviors, racism, sexual harassment, sexual assault, it is not okay. And we need the power of our anger to stand up to it. But we need to make sure that it's focused on alleviating suffering, which means focusing on the behavior, not tolerating the behavior, as opposed to harming people, right? Because if you start getting hostile at people and harming people with the anger, then it's no longer in the service of alleviating suffering. Some people may not like it as much. And that's the thing with self-compassion is you aren't so dependent on other people liking you to get your sense of self-worth. And then this is really where the harnessing of fierceness for compassion leads to. So it's not even a new idea, it's just kind of repackaged a little bit.
I think that, for women that are mothers, they probably can relate to that fierceness of protection, that really what is the function of anger is to protect.
Okay.
You learn about the different functions of anger in
Yes.
dialectical behavior therapy. And there was always this, what Marcia Linehan would teach is that anger is there to protect, but also there's a time to gently avoid. And that there's this balance of knowing the wisdom to know the difference, right?
Yes.
Of when to show up as a strong protector and then also when to gently avoid to protect yourself as well.
Right. Yeah, and it's always a matter of balance, about allowing the energies to merge and integrate, which is kind of difficult because they feel really different. But like if you open to it, and my personal practice, I found that if I intentionally say, allow my fierceness and please allow my fierceness and tenderness to merge and integrate. It almost like you got to ask for it. You almost have to give it permission. And ultimately they need to be integrated. And then what you need to ask yourself is, what do I need in this moment? But really ask it honestly and authentically. Sometimes you need fierceness, sometimes you need tenderness. But if you don't even know it's a possibility, how are you going to be able to use it to help yourself?